Hi, everyone. This is Allie Phillips, and welcome to the webinar tonight. The webinar tonight is on tools to ground and ascend during powerful summer energies. So it's going to be a very interesting topic. And I don't even know if the title accurately describes what I'm going to talk about, but it's about the best one I could come up with. So anyway, my name is Allie Phillips, and just briefly about me, I'm an attorney, so I got the whole left brain thing going on, but I'm also an energy healer at a master level in 3 different modalities. And so I'm just going to dive right into this because this particular topic is very fascinating to me. And as I look into the science and everything that is going on in our world right now, not that it makes things right or okay, it starts to give us explanations. So I'm going to be talking about a little bit of numerology, a little bit of astrology, some earth vibration energy, but I really want to know, have you been feeling that time is speeding up? So seriously, I have very little recollection of the month of July of 2017. I just don't. I know I did a lot, but for a lot of people, when I ask them that, almost 100% of the hands go up in the air when I ask them if they feel time is speeding up and if they're losing entire days, entire weeks, entire months. I'm going to give you an answer during this about why that's happening. Are you feeling anxious or angry or fearful or confused or even unmotivated? Are you doing things that you've never done before? Something very brave, some sort of big leap of faith? Are you walking away from things or situations or people that you actually enjoyed in the past, but you no longer enjoy? That's a lot of the symptoms that people are feeling in the energy that we are in right now. And so I really wanted to do this webinar to let everyone know you are not going crazy. A lot of people are feeling this, and there are reasons why this is happening. And so I'm going to talk about those reasons, and then I'm going to give you some tools to really help you handle this energy with grace and with ease. So 2017, first of all, I got to tell you, all the photos in the background of this webinar, except for one slide, are all photos that I've taken on my vacations. I'm going to start doing that more because I've taken some awesome photos. So anyway, I just wanted to chime that in here. So 2017 is the year of beginnings, because when you add up 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7, it equals 10. You add 1 plus 0, that equals 1. So that's numerology. And so 2017 is a 1 year, which is all about new beginnings. And then I'm going to be talking in a little bit about what's called the Lion's Gate. The Lion's Gate opened on August 8th, and it went through August 12th. And so this webinar is happening on, I don't even know what day it is today. What is it, August 16th? So when you look at the Lion's Gate, it opened on August 8th of 17. August is 8. The 8th of the month is 8. And for 2017, when you add together the 1 and the 7, it's an 8. So it's 888. 888 in the numerology world is all about manifesting, about abundance, about your life purpose being supported. It's also about the ending of a phase of life. So we have a lot of intense energy that has been happening since January. And a lot of people are feeling it, and they're not exactly sure where it's coming from or why they're feeling it. But what is happening is there is, and I'm not going to get too far in depth into the definitions of a lot of stuff. You can certainly Google what I'm telling you and check up on it. But what we have is what's called a planetary grid that's being imprinted in the earth. And it's an energy grid to help us get to the next level of our evolution. So when I say planetary grid, that's like the basic definition. Now, before I get to that, I want to talk about the Schumann's resonance of the planet. So the Schumann's resonance of the planet, it is a scientific measurement where they actually, scientists and NASA and all of these different scientific companies measure the ionic activity of the Earth from about 30 miles to 600 miles above the Earth. What it really is the Earth's heartbeat. The Earth has a heartbeat to it. It has a frequency. It has a wave to it. And the base Schumann resonance is 7.83 hertz. And 7.83 hertz is lower alpha and upper theta waves. So alpha is, our waking. It's our day-to-day. It's, it's what we're doing right now. But what is really interesting is it's been spiking, and I'm going to give you some numbers. But when you go to the NASA website, when they talk about Schumann resonance, they have this quote on their website that scientists have discovered variations in the resonances correspond to change in the seasons, solar activity, activity in the Earth's magnetic environment, in water areas, and in the atmosphere, and other earthbound phenomena. That's what I'm going to be talking about, other earthbound phenomena. So there's always this big question, does the planet influence the vibration of people, or are the people on the planet influencing the Earth's vibrations? Which comes first, the chicken or the egg? I don't think we really know. But if the Earth's frequency is rising, why wouldn't ours, and vice versa? Because we're very intricately connected to the planet because we walk on it. So we live in this unified energy field with the planet where, increased frequency in the planet results in more awareness in human beings, more creativity, more consciousness. And so let me talk about some of these huge spikes that have been happening in the Schumann resonance. So in January, at the end of January, less than 2 weeks after the inauguration of, the United States president, the Schumann resonance spiked to over 36 hertz. So base frequency is 7.83. And since they've been tracking the Schumann resonance since the early 50s, that's been the frequency. Well, it spiked to 36. At Easter, it spiked to 200. In May, like May 8th and 9th, it spiked to 112 and 120. On August 5th, it went to over 500. On August 12th, which is the day that all the violence happened in Charlottesville, Virginia, it was well over 40. And I was tracking it on that day, so the numbers could actually be higher, but I was trying to look at live data. And so we live in this unified field, and the increased frequency can increase our consciousness. And the higher the planet goes, the higher we can go in our vibration, because the human body, when it feels really good and really healthy, has a 7.83 hertz vibration to it, which is why, and here's the easiest way to understand it. When you go outside and you're in nature and you're walking barefoot on the beach or you're in the woods, we feel great, right? We feel healthy. We feel really good because we are 7.83 hertz. We are syncing with the vibration of the Earth. So what happens when the Earth's frequency increases and spikes so significantly? Well, we get a lot of what I was talking about at the beginning, time speeding up, feeling anxious or angry, fearful, confused, unmotivated. Changes are happening. But the thing is that people who have not been doing the work to raise their frequency, their body, their energy frequency along with the Earth, are having emotional and violent outbreaks because they can't handle it. It's too much. It's like our nervous system and our DNA are being upgraded. Like we're going into an evolutionary jump. And, that discussion has been going on for quite a few years, that our planet does go through DNA and evolutionary upgrades. And are we going through it now? A lot of people say yes. So this raising of the consciousness because of these huge spikes, awakening us to who we really are, speeding up of time. This is all lifting a veil of illusion that we've all been living under. So what do I mean by that? When we think about how we use our brain, scientists have proven that we only use about 5% of our brain, that the rest is so subconscious that we're not even aware of it. We just have these illusions, and we have this veil over us. And this raising of the frequency, a lot of people believe that this is being lifted. So let me go to the next category. Oh, let me show you this. So this is the data that I was looking at from, it's a website, and if anybody wants it, I can email this to you, but it's basically disclosurenews.it, and then just type in Schumann Resonance today, or you can just Google Schumann Resonance today. But the top photo is August 12th, which is the day that all of the, the white nationalists and the neo-Nazi stuff was going on in Charlottesville, Virginia. See the white? See those really long, thick white bars? That's the Schumann resonance. And if you look on the far left, the frequency numbers at the top start at 0, and as it goes down, it goes to 40. It spiked well over 40. It's just the grid ended at 40. I don't know how high it went. The photo on the bottom is August 6th. And, what have we been going through on this planet in this time period? We've been going through a North Korean nuclear scare. We've been going through all the stuff with Russia. And now we have all of this hate speech happening. And so it's raising a lot of emotions and anxiety and fear. So it really gets back to the question, are we raising the frequency of the planet because of our heightened extreme emotions because of what's going on? Or is the planet raising and we're going with it, which is causing heightened and extreme emotions? It's very fascinating. I love this. I think it's fascinating. So let's now link this to the shifting dimensions that we're in. So I'm not going to talk about the physics type of dimensions. You can actually look up, it's called string theory, where physicists are, looking at and documenting and proving that there are 11 dimensions in our world. And it's called string theory. I'm going to talk about the dimensions from the consciousness aspect. So the third dimension, which is what we are in or we were in, this is a society with very rigid rules and very rigid beliefs and limitations. We actually find this in our parents and our grandparents, so people that were born like during or before the 2 world wars, where when you talk to them, it's very right, wrong, black, white, up, down, yes, no, very rigid rules. That's third dimension. And there's nothing wrong with this. It's just that is third dimension energy. Third dimension is also about linear time. Because humans created the calendar and the clock. So it's about linear time where, right now it is about 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. And in another minute, it's going to be about 7:16. And then in another minute, 7:17. So that's linear time. Third dimension is also about time being in a loop. That is where what we think about from the past, like if you think about something from the past, you actually bring it into present time and you project it into the future, and it creates a loop. Third dimension is also about everything being conditional. In the third dimension, and this is really hard for people to hear, especially people who are parents and love their children or they love their pets, third dimension doesn't have the capacity for unconditional love. It's conditional. They can, even if you're thinking of your child, well, I unconditionally love my child. Well, if your child did something horrific, for a moment, that could be conditional. You could really not love them in that moment. That is third dimension. Third dimension is also duality. Me and you versus the world. It's not seeing that we're all one. It's this duality where we have races and genders and, different religions. It's also left brain, the logical brain, not necessarily heart-centered or creative. And like I said, we only use about 5% of the brain, and third dimension is left brain. So imagine if we flip on over to right brain, what it's going to expand to. Third dimension is also about us not being in control of our thoughts and feelings. People in third dimension, they think, they believe, and they act how they want to with no thought that they are actually manifesting their world. They've never heard of that concept. They think it's ridiculous when you say, thoughts create things. Your thoughts create your world. They think that that's absolute insanity. Third dimension is when people think life is happening to them, not that they are actually creating their life. Third dimension is all about following the rules of life. There's actually a time lag in third dimension when it comes to manifesting. So you may, desire something and put it out there, but it's very slow to show up. And people in this dimension are increasingly growing very uncomfortable and acting out because they immediately experience all of their negative, outdated emotions and outdated beliefs. So third dimension is what we all have lived in. And there are a lot of beliefs that some people on this planet in this moment are still in third dimension, but we're moving into fourth dimension. So fourth dimension is, hold on, I had to move something on my screen there. Fourth dimension is all about focusing on the present. And I found this very interesting because I'm having a very poor memory of the past, even the short-term past. This is what this fourth dimension energy is. You are so focused on the present moment that you just really, the past is the past. There's no need to even have a memory of it. In the fourth dimension, you get back choice of emotions, choice of thoughts. It's why, a common phrase that some people say is, be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you think, because you're going to get it. We're also in the fourth dimension in a battle between good and light, good and right, dark and light. And we're actually in this right now. I think a lot of people see that we have dark forces surfacing. And so we're in this dark versus light battle. Fourth dimension is also us being able to observe events with detachment. It's called paradox. When we can observe an event, paradox is when we look at something and it was true in one moment, but it may not be true in the next. So our perception changes because our vibration is very fluid in the fourth dimension. That's paradox. But we can also observe events with detachment and determine our response. So some people are able to view some of these world events and violent events very calmly with detachment, and then really rationally decide, how do I want to respond to this? That's fourth dimension, because you have choice and control over your emotions and your thoughts and your response, rather than just flying off the handle. That's third dimension. Fourth dimension is you have choice. You can control your happiness. You can control your well-being. This is where we see a lot more fight against big pharma and Monsanto and, walking away from things that aren't good for us. We're taking control. We're voting with our dollars. We are mastering our thoughts and our feelings. But fourth dimension is also about letting fear and judgment and blame and guilt disappear. And we can only enter the fifth dimension, which is the target for planet Earth. We can only enter fifth dimension when we leave our mental and emotional baggage behind and the old beliefs, because they're outdated. We're finding, and I'm going through this, where things that I used to do and believe in, I no longer do. And so it's really letting the fear and the judgment and the blame and the guilt disappear, because that's not fourth dimensional energy. That's third dimension. That's duality energy. And it's why there's so many people out there teaching and helping and coaching on how to transform core beliefs that were stored in us when we were children. But what we also find in the fourth dimension is that manifesting happens faster because the linear time is collapsing. This is why we feel time is speeding up. And it's all associated with the Schumann resonance of the planet. Now, fifth dimension, this is, like I said, the target for planet Earth. When you're in fifth dimension, this is instantaneous time. So that means that everything and all possibilities happen at once. Now, what does that mean? What it means is all you have to do is focus on what you want, or focus on a question to get your answer. And you'll get it. You'll pull it from all of these various places, because everything and all possibilities are available and happening at once. You just have to get into a vibrational sync with it. So this is a place where there's faith, there's not fear. I'm finding a lot more people are taking leaps of faith and walking away from things without fear. Some humans will actually transition and pass away so that they can reach the fifth dimension, because they know they can't do it here on planet Earth. And it's not a conscious decision. It's an energetic, it's a soul decision. But others will do it in human form. And all you have to do is focus on what you want. Master your thoughts, master your feelings. I mean, it is truly ask and you shall receive. So all the answers will come to you based on where you put your attention and the vibration that you hold. And this is a key concept in the law of attraction, where they say what you put your attention and your energy on is what you create. So if you're putting your attention and your energy on things that you're afraid of, things that you're worried about, then you're going to create more of that, and you're going to see more of that. So that's why this is all about mastering your thoughts and your feelings, because at this point in time, manifestation and karma are almost instantaneous. They happen immediately. So this is all about letting go of fear and judgment and worry, and just having faith and knowing it's all going to work out. And many people are actually in this now. So this is also a frequency, a dimension where we don't create with 3D form anymore. We create with light and light patterns and light frequencies and sacred geometry and sound and color. It's happening in the tech industry. It's already happening. That's fifth dimension creativity. And in this dimension, we consciously interact with source energy and all higher beings. It's why some people can really download great information and they say, wow, that was just divinely guided. Or they can talk to spirits, they can talk to angels. These people are already in fifth dimension. And so in the fifth dimension, there's more joy and peace and light and love. There's no fear. There's no fear. And all karma is released, because you can't be in fifth dimension and have karmic issues that you're still working on. So it's all released. But what is really interesting is You see brighter colors. Negative emotions move in and out of you very fast. You find a lot of synchronicities. You think about something and you get a phone call, you get an email, you see somebody, you look at a billboard, a book pops up on your computer screen. Those synchronicities happen almost immediately, and the manifesting happens immediately, and you just feel divinely guided. Now, here's the thing. We can go back and forth between third dimension, fourth dimension, and fifth dimension. You can flip back and forth all the time. It's like being in an elevator. Do you want to be on the third floor, the fourth floor, or the fifth floor? You can go up and down, up and down, up and down. And so I'll tell you, I know I'm having a lot of moments in fifth dimension, a lot of moments. So this is absolutely happening, and some people, they don't understand it. When it comes to the manifesting part, a lot of people are saying to me, yeah, I'm manifesting a lot of negative things. And it's like, yeah, because you're thinking something and it's happening very quickly, and it's just because you haven't really mastered your thoughts and your feelings and the language that you're using. So it's like, that's awesome that you're doing that, because you are either in fifth dimension or, dipping your toe into it, but you gotta really master your thoughts and feelings and really get rid of this judgment and fear and, all of that. So I hope that makes sense. But what is happening? So the shift that we're going through right now is there are light frequencies that are clearing away who we are not. So all of these unwanted old beliefs that were put in us, by family and school and religious institutions and the media and community, beliefs that are not us. And these frequencies are reminding us who we really are, which we are really unlimited energy. And you may have awareness of these unwanted thoughts leaving you, which can actually attract in people and situations if you dwell too much on it. So it's really important to really detach, to not judge, don't argue, don't condemn, don't think they're not okay, I'm not okay, because all it does is slow down the process and make for a big struggle. Because a lot of what is bubbling up right now is not even our own energy. It's old energy from the past that's just bubbling up and latching onto people. So we just got to let it go. So what is really happening are, I talked in the beginning about this planetary grid is integrating into planet Earth, which is, is that why the Schumann Resonance is raising? Again, there's a lot of what ifs here. But this all started happening, these light codes started happening the first half of 2017 and really laid the foundation for this new consciousness or this ascension, in the spiritual world, in the healing world. A lot of people use the word ascension. We're ascending, we're evolving. And that's what started happening in the first half of 2017. And it's a higher dimensional consciousness. And this new energy is really held in the heart, in the soul, and in our energy body of anyone who has committed to living this new way. And this commitment isn't conscious. It's at a soul level, it's at an energy level. Because some people they're doing really interesting things in their lives and they don't understand why they're doing it. Let me give you an example, because this has been going on for quite some time, this sort of energy. It's slowly been opening up to all of us. So like I said, I'm an attorney. I've been an attorney for 23 years. And in 2008, all of a sudden, I needed to learn about energy healing. And I took my first Reiki class. Now, why the heck would an attorney all of a sudden have an interest in energy healing? I don't know. I really don't. And then I took the next class and the next class. Next thing I know, I'm a master teacher in 3 different modalities. And then I'm starting a healing business. Well, I was busy. I was traveling and teaching. in my legal career. I didn't have time for a second business, but I created it. That's what this energy is. It's where I was not even consciously deciding to do this. This was at a subconscious energetic level to prepare me for what we're dealing with right now. Now, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh my gosh, Allie, I haven't done any of this, I'm screwed. No, you're not. You don't have to do all of that. You don't. You will be shown the way. That's the nice thing about it. And I'm actually going to give you some tools, because if you think, wow, I haven't been shown the way, I'm going to give you some tools. So let's talk about, I'm a slide behind here. Let's talk about last month. Let's talk about July. Because this is when the powerful energies really started coming in. It's called the Great Shift. On July 9th, we had a full moon. And this was the first major acceleration point of letting go of emotions and old patterns, old beliefs. Very transformational, very clearing. So I really want you to go back to your calendars. If you keep a journal or if you just keep a calendar, and maybe it'll prompt you to think, oh, wow, on this day I had this thought, or I did this, or, you might be able to actually track this. Because on this day, many people just instinctively knew to let go of something. I had a major letting go on that day, and I didn't even realize it at the time. But anyone who holds on to something, that old energy, they're just going to struggle a lot more in this new energy, because the new energy is basically trying to rip it out of your hands and you're grabbing onto it. So in this new multidimensional energy, multidimensional, where we can go between third, fourth, and fifth dimension, it's really easier to let things go. It's easier to let the past go. It's easier to focus on the present. It's easier to recognize frequency and vibration in our world. We notice things more. We feel the vibes of people. We can look at somebody and know, wow, they're a really good person. Or we can look at somebody and say, I'm crossing the street. I'm getting away from that person. So we're noticing this more. And in this multidimensional world, like I said, we can go back and forth between the old and the new energy. And this is really just part of the growth process, because, sometimes I'll catch myself using three-dimensional words that are it's very old belief system. And I catch myself, which is fourth dimension. You catch yourself and it's like, nope, cancel that out. So that was the July 9th full moon, letting go. Then July 26th, the new moon came, which was also the planetary new year, not the calendar new year, the planetary new year, which was a time for creativity. And it was the beginning of a portal opening that really opened on August 8th through the 12th, which I'll talk about momentarily. This is when what's called the diamond light codes were coming in from the galactic center. Now you may hear that and say, what? What the heck did she just say? All right, so these light codes, these are energy codes coming in to our planet. This is this new energy grid coming into our planet. And it's coming what's called the galactic center. There is a center point in the galaxy. It's called the galactic center. And what this is doing, there's been an alignment of planets that have lined up with this galactic center. And what it's doing, it's setting the patterns for this next frequency, this fifth dimension. Okay? Let's go to August. So we're in August right now. On August 7th, we had a full moon and a partial lunar eclipse in Leo. Leo is all about goddess energy. It's all about strength. So this full moon and partial lunar eclipse empowered goddess energy on Earth. So female energy. Now that all of that really started in February, which was when all of these diamond light codes were coming in and starting to raise up the goddess and divine energy. But now it's really kicking into gear. We're also finding more right brain activity, which is creativity and compassionate energy, which is why we are seeing more people speaking out about peace and compassion. and speaking out against things that are old energy, which is hateful and hurtful energy. Then comes August 8th through the 12th, which we just left this portal. This truly was a portal opening that aligned with this galactic center. The new light codes were coming in, and this grid and these light bodies were activating and imprinting into the earth. Also in this was something called an emerald ray. If you've ever studied any of the energy rays, there's all these different color energy rays. Like if you're familiar with Reiki as an energy healing modality, that's the violet ray. Well, the emerald ray is all heart-centered. It's all heart energy. And so this is what's coming into our planet. Now, we may not feel it. We may think, oh my gosh, we have wars everywhere and this nuclear threat and these people hate these people. Isn't it interesting, the timing of this all? With all of this old hateful energy surfacing as this emerald loving ray is coming in and these new light codes are coming in. So what happened in this 5-day period was these grids were being activated to those who are receptive. Now remember, some are not going to be receptive, and they're going to feel it, and they are going to push back. So what is important, even though this portal has closed, it's keeping our energy high for this new energy, these new light codes to be grounded into us. Okay, so there's still time to do this. I didn't think about doing this webinar before the Lion's Gate. I should have done it, but it's never too late to do this. So what a lot of this is doing, like I said before, it's activating and updating, our DNA, our evolution, it's this ascension. And what it is it's a time to trust, to have love and faith and focus on what you want. It's about not letting anything pull you down, not getting caught up in the anger and the rhetoric that is going on. Like, don't get sucked into that, rabbit hole. But this is really a climactic point that we're in. And when I looked at what was going on in the news, what was the big hot topic between August 8th and the 12th? It was this nuclear threat. Again, this is a battle between dark and light. And this nuclear threat was given, I don't want to say it's the last, because it's probably not. This is not a done deal this month. This is going to be going on for some time, but we are in the epicenter of it, where the more of us who are in this light energy and loving and compassionate energy, that energy is going to overtake this dark energy and finally transmute it and get rid of it once and for all, because a lot of this was just simply buried. It never went away. So when you look at August 12th with what the white supremacists did in Virginia with 3 people killed, and the megahertz of the Schumann Resonance was 40 plus, what it is we are given situations that we don't want, because people are focused on things that are wrong and things that they don't want. And when you focus on things that you don't want and things that are wrong, you're going to get that. That's 4th dimension, 5th dimension energy. And so this is where it's, instead of getting really angry and, protesting and yelling and doing all of this stuff, you're just buying into that old dark energy. There's more positive ways that we can do things. And so this is really starting to culminate as we go into next Monday, August 21st, the total solar eclipse. What that is going to do on that day is lock in permanently these new planetary codes that have been coming in all year and really streaming in since July. And so anything that is not in alignment with this new diamond light code is going to transform and burn away. Now, what does that mean? Who knows? I guess we're going to find out. Pay attention to the news on Monday and everything leading up to it. And look at what is transforming. Look at what is burning away and going away. It's really a new way of living. but the old ways are going to continue to fight for power. But this new way of living is just staying focused on the compassion and the love, and we're all one. We are all one. So when one person harms another person, we all feel it. So let's get back to what you're likely experiencing. Time is speeding up because of these light codes in the Schumann Resonance. That's normal. You are not losing your mind. That it's happening. Time is speeding up. You know, we are disconnecting from people and situations and activities that maybe we actually enjoyed in the past. Jobs that we enjoyed, friends that we enjoyed, activities. What we're also doing is we're much more intolerant of negativity and gossip and, you know, things that really rile us up in an angry way. We're distancing ourselves from that. Not everyone is. I mean, you can watch it play out on social media of who, like I can actually look on social media and it's like, ooh, that person I think is in 3-dimensional energy and this person is in 5th-dimensional energy. It's really fascinating to look at it, you know, and it's not with judgment. There's nothing wrong about 3rd-dimensional energy because that's the planet that we're living in right now. We're 3rd-dimensional. But these grids are asking us to let that go and go to the next level. So, you know, you may find yourself checking out from negativity, including news, and you may find more instant manifesting, you know, mostly unwanted stuff until you really figure out how to manifest and keep your thoughts and your words and your actions positive. We're finding very fast karma. You know, I remember a time just even 10 years ago when we all held a belief that, you know, karma does not come back around in the same lifetime of when a situation happened. We would kind of joke that, well, you know, I got to come back in a next lifetime for that karma to be repaired. It's almost simultaneous now because of the speeding up of time. We have heightened intuition. We just know stuff. We don't know how we know it. But it's this massive letting go because this is moving us to new lives while we let go of the old. And so I'm seeing a lot of people and pets passing away. And I don't want to say it's because they were old, 3rd-dimensional energy. No, it's energetically and at a soul level, I truly believe that many of them decided we can do more help by being in spirit. We can help this planet more because this is a very unique time that will never again happen in our lifetimes and hasn't happened before, this sort of evolution. I guess maybe when the planet was created, that's when it happened, but this is very unique. So I really feel like, because we see a lot of what we call good people passing on and pets passing on, and I truly believe they are choosing at a soul level to pass on, to be in spirit, to support us in this. We're also seeing a lot of divorces, a lot of relationships breaking up, a lot of friendships just drifting off, like no hard feelings, just drifting off. A lot of people leaving their careers, just up and quitting. A very dear friend of mine, I was so proud of her. Her old way 3-dimensional job, she just called me up and said, I quit. I just quit. I can't do it anymore. That's what this energy is. And when I told her that, she's like, oh, I feel really good about it. I have no fear. That's what this new energy is. It's also about letting go of toxic habits, maybe habits that you enjoyed in the past no longer feel good, but it's also new doors opening if you're not afraid to let them open. It's really all about letting go. So let's talk about what the world is experiencing. So during all this time, I mean, just think of 2017. I've never seen Russia so much in the news. And that's because all of these codes are coming in and all of this stuff is being literally pulled up so that it can be let go. in July and August, it's been all about North Korea when this energy has really been intensifying. You know, it really heightened during the Lion's Gate. World leaders are fighting, and this is old energy letting go because they're trying to get accustomed to this new energy and they don't know what to do because the old systems don't work. And then it's this final battle between this low and high energy because we came out of our planet evolves every 2,000 years into a new astrological cycle. So every 24,000 years it comes back around. So we just left Pisces, and no one knows exactly when, but probably 5 years ago we left Pisces, which was 2,000 years of fighting and war. And when you think about it, we've always had a war on this planet. And we still have it now, but now we're in the age of Aquarius. And so when you think about the song, it's like, yes, it's all about, you know, hugs and, you know, group hugs and flowers in our hair and joy and love. And so when you think back of just what I talked about, all of this energy coming in, the loving emerald ray, all these diamond light codes going up to fifth dimensional energy, does that not sound like Age of Aquarius? Isn't it fascinating? Like, I just love looking at it from all these different angles, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. But this is what we're experiencing. And a lot of people are afraid and they're terrified, and they don't need to be. We need to stay in such a positive place right now to let this energy lock in. So what do you do? What do you do? So I got to tell you, I love this photo. This is me with my feet in Loch Ness in Scotland. I love this photo. I look at it all the time. So what do you do? What do you do with this? It's really important now to be balanced and well in body, mind, and spirit. So we have to stay grounded if we want to remain humans on this planet. So, you know, all of this, you know, raising of the vibration, this is having a higher vibration, but you can't go so high that you disconnect from Earth. So we have to ground and connect with nature. So, and I'm going to give you some tools to do that. One of the easiest things is to put your feet on the ground, be in nature, let go of the technology for at least an hour a day. You know, take a technology weekend off, but stay very connected to the planet, because as the planet rises and you are physically connected to it, your body will naturally sync to it and it'll feel really great. Now, you can't connect to the earth if you're wearing shoes. So it's bare feet, which is going to be really fun in the winter. So, but at the same time, we also have to raise our energy and raise our vibration to keep with this raising frequency of the planet. So we can do this by maintaining inner peace, because when we're angry and upset and fearful, that is low energy. It drags you down. When you're full of peace and faith without fear and compassion for others, that raises your energy. And so it's not falling into victimhood or anger when bad events happen. It's really being out there with a peaceful message. It's going within and surrendering with the flow of energy. It's just not going into fear mode. You got to release the fear. It's also eliminating toxins, because toxins in our physical body are negative energy. So if you're eating food that comes out of a bag or a box, or a fast food window, or food that has been poisoned by chemicals and has really unhealthy stuff in it, that is lowering your vibration. And so it's moving to earth-friendly ingredients and organic ingredients. And it's even, and this is going to be controversial, but it's even moving away from farm animal products, because farm animal products are so full of toxins because of what the farms do to the land, to what the farm animals eat, how they are treated, all the cruelty and the harm, and that energy then goes into your body as a toxin. So be very careful about the products that you put in your body, the food that you put in your body, even the news that you intake. I'll tell you, the only reason I have cable TV is I need my Hallmark channels. I don't need anything else. I need my Hallmark channels, and they don't stream on computers yet. So be very careful about what you watch. If you watch violent movies or violent shows, your brain, the reptilian part of your brain takes that like it's really happening to you. And it goes into fight or flight mode, and then stresses out your body, and then your adrenals crash. So really go into more peaceful shows, and just don't watch national news. There's nothing we can do about it. Just send out a lot of peace and love. Quiet your mind. We've got to give our brains a break. We are so hyped up and ramped up on technology, we're short-circuiting our brains. So we've got to quiet our minds every day, and that does not include sleep. Because if you don't quiet your mind, it's going to really be on overdrive when you sleep, and then you're not going to get quality sleep. Other things you can do, be with animals. Animals are naturally grounded to the earth. Even if you have pets inside who don't go out, they are naturally grounded to the earth. So they're perfect for having that grounding, but they're also very high vibrational. Be surrounded with healthy relationships, uplifted people. Just distance yourself from the people who are the naysayers, who, every time that you come up with an idea or suggest something, they shoot it down. Yeah, distance yourself from them, because they're shooting you down, because they're shooting down your ideas. They're shooting down your creativity. Anybody who talks you out of something that makes you happy, these are not healthy relationships. And then be involved in heart-centered activities and work and contributions and being of service and just giving without any expectation. Because what that does is that activates a universal law that when you give, you shall receive. And some people are, and I'm guilty of this, I give way too much that it's been so lopsided. And so I need to learn to receive more. Other people, all they do is take. And they need to learn to give more. It needs to be 50-50. And a lot of heart-centered activities are going to help with that. So let's talk about some oils. I'm going to talk about oils and crystals, because I know I have crystal people who have registered for this webinar. So here's the thing. I am only going to be talking about Young Living oils, because let me tell you something. I have really researched a lot of the other companies. Young Living oils, they blend these, and they grow them, and they distill these oils to achieve a specific frequency. We actually know the frequency of a lot of our oils. No other oil company does that I'm aware of. They just take lavender and get it out of the lavender bud as fast as possible using solvents and other things so they can sell a cheap oil. You're going to find a big difference. These are all created for specific frequency. So we need to ground and ascend at the same time. So your grounding oils are Valor, which is, let's see, are these in, these are in hertz. I have to do, I'm doing a mathematical, I don't do math, but I'm doing a mathematical equation here in my brain real quick on whether these are hertz or megahertz. These are megahertz. Okay, so Valor is 47 megahertz. Our body is 78 megahertz when it's super healthy. So you can see this is grounding. It's a lower energy. Peppermint is 78, which is exactly the frequency of our body when it's healthy. Now for ascending energy, these are in order of frequency. Transformation blend, 92 megahertz. Transformation really will help you during this. I have gone through an entire bottle in a month of the transformation oil because it's such a powerful oil to use right now because we're in a transformational time. Present time will help you focus on the present because remember, fourth dimensional energy is all about present time, not looking in the past, not being too far in the future. It's really being present Present time helps you do that. It's 96 megahertz. We also need to surrender to a lot of this. I mean, we can be active and take steps, but just drop the oars in your boat. Stop paddling upstream. Drop the oars and let the stream turn your boat around so that you're flowing with this. We spend so much time feverishly battling upstream to something that was in the past, to that time in the past where things were great. Let it go. It's in the past. We need to be present. Surrender will let you do that. It's 98 megahertz. If you're feeling like you're sluggish and you're just not very motivated, like you know you want to do stuff and you really want to do it, but you're not doing it, use this motivation oil. It's 103 megahertz. Frankincense, 147 megahertz. Frankincense is really great for stilling the mind and raising you up when you feel down. Sacred Mountain is 176 megahertz. And this to me is like going to Sedona. Actually, that photo is, I took my bottle of Sacred Mountain and I had a photo session in Sedona with the red rocks in the background. Okay, yes, I'm a big weirdo. But that oil, Sacred Mountain, loves mountains. Because when you think of mountains, they're strong, they're sturdy, they're very deep in the ground, but they reach for the earth. That's a grounding and ascending oil. 176 megahertz there. Joy is 188 megahertz. Joy, everybody should be wearing it every day. We need to be in a place of joy and bliss and peace. And then rose is 320 megahertz and Idaho blue spruce is 560. You put those two together, you will really ascend and you will feel that energy. And Idaho blue spruce, when you think of the tree, it's got deep roots, so it's a grounding oil, but a very, very high vibrational oil. So those are my recommendations. These are the ones that I have been working with on and off all year, but very consistently the last month and a half since this all started. And they really do work. Now, for the crystal enthusiasts of the group, let me just go through a couple of crystals. You may or may not have heard of some of these. Some of these are very advanced crystals, and you're going to have to search high and low to try to find them. These are not going to be at your everyday metaphysical or crystal store. Ahawite is a very vibration crystal. It's a compassionate energy, very angelic yet connected to earth, and it helps with moving out of third dimensional thoughts and emotions. Apophyllite it helps you have a spirit connection while grounding. Aurora quartz, which is in the photo there, this is my cat Lucy's favorite crystal. This is her crystal. It's not mine, it is hers. It's also known as anandalite, but it activates your soul star and your stellar gateway chakras. But this is all about oneness. So getting rid of that duality of me versus you. It's all about oneness. That's what Aurora quartz does. Auralite 23 is a very sedating and stilling crystal, calming. Very, very calming, but yet helps you reach to a higher connection to accelerate your development in all of this. Celestials help you let go of old beliefs. Himalayan quartz comes from the Himalayan mountains, which again, you think of mountains, very grounding, but these Himalayan quartz are found near the top of the mountains, where it's like they call them source crystals because they're very close to source God energy. They have to hand mine them. It takes them 7 days to walk these crystals down the mountain. They're beautiful, beautiful frequency. Madagascar smoky amethyst. So a lot of people believe that the Lemurians, and I'm not even going to get into that. If you know what Lemurians are, that's awesome. But the Lemurian qualities are coming out of Madagascar. This is a very high vibrational yet calming energy. And then nunderite. I had to get that one from England. Not easy to find that here in the United States, but it's a jadeite jasper combo, very grounding, keeps you centered during turmoil and during shifting energies. So if you take one thing out of this, because I know I gave you a lot of information, some of which you may have never ever heard of, and some may just instinctively ring true to you. And I encourage you to check this all out. As with anything that I teach, just don't take my word for it. Check it out. But always focus on your inner peace and inner power no matter what is going on, because all we can do is control ourselves. We can't control anything that's going on around us, but we can control ourselves. And we do that through our emotions and our thoughts and our actions. And so I think this is the mantra that we all have to have, that today I choose peace. Because you're going to be tested on whether you go back to the old ways, the third dimensional energy, or you progress to the new ways, the fourth and the fifth dimension. So it's just not falling into victim consciousness. And so there's me sitting in a Sedona vortex. If you look at that tree, it's a juniper tree. You see how it's twisted? That's how you know you're in a vortex. Isn't that cool? I love that. So if you have any questions, email me. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the recording. Or actually, let me ask if there's any questions, because maybe we take some questions live on this. So I am going to unmute.
And I'm going to say just TMI.
Does anybody have any questions? I've unmuted the lines.
I guess it's really not in this room, but sure.
Oh, I hear somebody talking. Does anybody have any questions? All right, I'm not hearing any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and end the recording, and thank you for joining in. Very much appreciated.